It's not possible.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Judge Tangela Beer. I'm the judge for Division 10. This is a status hearing in the matter of Way versus Thomas. All right, so looking at the screen, looks like we have Miss Thomas, looks like we have Mr. Way. Miss Holloway is present. And so, Miss Way, who is representing you? Unmute.
My attorney, she withdrew from the case, and I was trying to seek for another attorney.
Okay, hold on. That was, let me see. Entering withdrawal.
Judith Deluse Montgomery.
Okay, was that? Okay, I'm surprised I did that. Oh, before the status was set. Okay. Okay, her withdrawal came before we had a status set. I knew we were going to have one, but I don't think we actually set it. But generally, okay. Let's figure out where we are with regard to the status. I mean, most of that was really about the counseling. Where are we with that? Ms. Holloway, can you kind of give us an update on that?
Your Honor, there have been some changes. There's probably been some more changes since I talked with my client. The oldest child, him and my client were not getting along.
The oldest
police were actually called with dad.
With dad?
Yes. The police were called. It's been an issue. So she is now living with mom, and the youngest is living with dad. Unless they've changed in the last week and a half since I talked to Mr. Way, this is a very rapidly changing case.
Yeah, I can actually see that because I'm going back to my notes. Just want to make sure because you got a lot of cases and I'm trying to keep them in this case, it was the oldest daughter who wanted to stay with dad, right?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
And that was because apparently there was some issue with mom, and the police was called, etc.
Yes, and now there are issues with dad. And if you remember,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you also remember that there was at least threats that she would take her life. And so she was hospitalized. That was the last status we had. So there's been some, I'm not sure, to answer your original question, if she's in counseling, and I don't know if my client would know because she doesn't live with him anymore.
Okay, but I thought my last, okay, let me ask then, Miss Thomas Way, is she in counseling? Because I believe my last order was for there to be some sort of the counseling, and that we were thinking maybe DFACS may provide it, and if not, then individually, because Mr. Way, I understand, is a school teacher, so my position was he would have insurance, and I think that was, let me pull that up real quick, the last outside of the emergency, because we had that emergency hearing. So it was before that. Okay. And so that was my last order. Let me hear from you, Ms. Thomas Way, on that issue.
Your Honor, Kayla is actually with her dad, and she stayed with the grandmother. She's still in her dad's custody. She's at his mother's house because he's living with the girlfriend doesn't want Kayla there because of what's been going on. So she's currently been at his mother's house. She's not with me. The youngest daughter is still with me, but Kayla is with him at her grandmother's house, which is his mother. That's where she's at now.
Were we aware of a girlfriend living with Mr. Way? I'm
not sure, Your Honor, but Mr. Way and her have been together for a while. And that's where he lives with her currently now.
Okay.
And he's lived with her, is my understanding, at least at the initial kind of status hearing. So it's been several months.
Okay.
And he was living with her at the time, my understanding, that the oldest said that she wanted to live there.
Yeah. Now I'm going back and I'm looking, you're right. That was one of the questions about whether, how they got along. Okay, so what happened with daughter and father? Mr. Way.
Mr. Way.
I'm gonna place you under oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Like I said, this has been a downhill spiral with Kaylee. It started after we went to the hearing for her mother's warrant. Once the warrant got issued, I guess she went home. I guess she was talking to her mother. I'm not sure. I got the messages, and she emailed her mother, basically stating that, hey, that I made this stuff up, blah blah. I said, like I told her, I'm not gonna argue with you about that. Like, don't be, don't do that kind of stuff, because she was messaging the, even though she's with me, I let her talk to her mom and grandmother. And they got messages going back and forth telling Kayla that, oh, the situation is her fault, telling her that, it's her fault that she can't see her sister. And then from there, Kaylee just snapped. Kayla started arguing with me. She's sending my address where we stand, and she sent her address to her relatives, other people. She was, sending illicit photos online, to other students. And, with all that, I stepped in like, hey, you cannot do that. I took the phone. Once I took the phone, she started being more belligerent. I'm running away. I'm doing this, sending crazy messages to her grandmom. The grandmom came up to where we was at. The grandma got a trespass warrant for coming up there. And then, so how Kayla was acting, she has, doing all this. So I decided to take her to the hotel room for a few days to let her calm down, because how she was acting with me when she started trying to run away.
Why would you take her to a hotel room? How would that help?
Because she was fine with everybody in the house. She was threatening everybody in the house. So I'm like, you know what? Let me remove us for a few days. Let me get one-on-one with her, talk to her, and trying to see what.
Oh, you both went to the hotel together?
Yeah, no, I didn't put her by herself. She was with me the whole time. And like, okay, let me see what's going on with the situation. She just, got worse. And then I guess
the counseling that I asked for.
She's in counseling now. She's in counseling. She has about 3 or 4 therapists that she sees. She don't be committed. Now she got an arraignment in June 20th for putting her hands on me. She don't try to hit me while I was driving. She has ran away from home.
Mr. Wade.
Yes.
I'm okay. Let's just back up for a little bit.
It's a lot.
Yes, it is a lot, but it sounds very much like what was going on with Miss Thomas Wade when in her household. It's not each of you. It's Kaylee. Kaylee needs some help.
And that's what I'm getting her help. That's why I put in therapy and stuff like that.
What I'm trying to say is you and Miss Way needs to work together.
We both in therapy as well. I put both, I set up counseling for all of us, all 3 of us to do counseling as well. So we all can try to remedy, see what's going on. Because like I said, the recordings, Kaylee, how just belligerent she is, cussing everything. Like I told Kayla, I have nothing against you, Mama. I just want peace. If you're doing wrong, I'm not on nobody's side. I'm just on the side of who's doing right. Mm-hmm. If y'all fighting, arguing, that's one thing. But like I explained to Kayla, you should not be coming to me with cuts and bruises. I should not have to take you to the hospital. That's it. I can't stop your mom from disciplining. I never said that, but I don't want my child to get beat up either. And I understand
what I'm saying is, I think at this juncture, because you have seen that other side that Miss Thomas Wade was trying to express at one point. I'm not saying Miss Thomas Wade was right. I don't know what happened in your situation or not. But what I'm saying to you is that there are commonalities that you got to recognize. When that phone was taken from Kaylee, she was acting out. And even in the office when I spoke with her, what I thought was very interesting was that she recognized that she has a temper. Like she said it. I have a problem. I get angry very quickly. And she acknowledged it, which is very different. I thought that was quite mature of her, because most kids won't do that. They won't acknowledge that they do have these anger issues. And one of the good things about her is that she did acknowledge it, which made me go, great, there's some hope here. We can work through this and get her where she needs to be. But what I see now is that, and I was like, okay, Dad can do it. Dad will be able to focus her, because she was really focused on going to Dad. Second daughter, I'm sorry, I can't recall her name right now. She was like, she really wanted to be with her sister, but she wanted to spend most of it between her mom. Actually, she was choosing her sister. She wanted to spend more time with us, be with her sister, and kind of where they go. But her desire was to be with her mom. And so that was the idea that I was like, okay, Dad would be primary over Kaylee. And and that would kind of help. And I think we could still stay in that posture, but you guys got to start working together and as a family unit, so that she understands that there's a force with the two of you, and she can't go back between the two, kind of working each other, because she's smart enough to be able to do that. Yes, Mr. Way.
Yes, no, that's what like with the counseling, I got it to where we all three of us are involved. And like I said, 'cause I seen what was going on with her, and like I told her, like, I don't know what is being said. I see stuff here and there with the messages between everybody. Like I said, I'm not gonna keep going back and forth.
Right.
Like I said, I want to fix the situation, and like I said, because of what's going on, like I said, the youngest daughter's been with me a lot more, and
Right.
I've because I've been working like, okay, you want to be at home with your mom, go, you can go home. So we just kind of swap the children. And I
Okay.
was like, maybe we should just, because Kaylee is working better with her. As long as Kaylee's getting the help that she needs, Kaylee seems to work better with her. And Sherry's been working better with me. I'm like 50-50. We was going to do that. You say you was going that right anyway. So let's kind of work with that. And then from there, we can just, because the kids are getting older, they're going to be times going to be back and forth between us. But like I explained to Kaylee, you can't run back and forth. You can't play sides. Like I explained to her, there are rules and consequences to what you're doing.
Right.
And like I said, now she has a record for not listening. And like I explained to her, I'm not gonna fight.
Why she has a record for not listening?
And back in May, she decided that she want to put her hands on me, scratch me and fight me and stuff like that. So she got an arraignment on June the 20th. She's been fighting me. She's been fighting me. She's been, like I said, running away from home. I had to report that kind of stuff. I'm driving, her hitting me while I'm driving,
Okay, so let me back up. So there was an incident in May, and in May you called the police, and now she has an arraignment due for this incident.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And why did she hit you?
Because I was taking her to school, and I explained she had some headphones. And I was like, because I'm with no electronics, because what she was doing, I took her phone, like, you don't like any electronics with me. And I took the headphones from her. She's like, they my mama headphones. Like I said, I get who headphones they are, but if I tell you can't take them to school, you cannot take them to school.
She said whose headphones they were?
She said her mama bought the headphones. And she was coming back to me that day. And I said, told her, like, hey, you can't take the headphones into the school. And then she just started putting her hands on me. She scratched me up. She was grabbing my neck, trying to choke me. And so I had to call the school resource office, like, hey, look at my arm. Like, my arm was scratched up. Like I explained to him, like, I just, I'm still recovering from my surgery. And I can't be doing all this fighting with her. Because it just got to the point where she just doing what she's doing.
So so I need to get Miss Holloway off the call, unfortunately, and I only have a few more minutes. So let me just, I hate to cut you off, and I'm going to kind of summarize. Let me know. So Kaylee was running away from home, doing some other things. And when did that start?
Like I said, from what the stuff with Kaylee, she was trying to sneak and do stuff, but like I said, I got video.
But when did that start? When did that behavior start? Because before
March either the 18th or the 19th. Like after we went to the arraignment, like after that, she just flipped.
After you went to the arraignment for Miss Thomas Way or for her?
For Miss Thomas Way.
Okay, so after we went to the arraignment, Miss Thomas Way, she started acting out. You think that was because either she recognized she was lying, or she was influenced?
I have no idea. Like I said, she was talking to her grandmother. I looked at the messages, telling her that, hey, it's your fault that is this. It's your fault that is that. You're not seeing your sister. So I don't know what she was feeling guilty about or what it is. But like I said, how she expressed to me so many different things, like whether it being profanity laced, all kind of things. Like I said, then told her, I'm not trying to keep you from your mother. I am just following what the protocol say, because I have messages of her mom asking her, asking, can you come over? And like I explained to Kay, like, look, I'm just following the rules. And I don't, and now it makes it seem like I'm trying to keep you from your mom, which I'm not. I'm just abiding by what the court order says. I haven't done anything. As soon as she got the opportunity to go home, I let her go home.
So the arraignment, Miss Thomas Way, is done? Like, you all withdrew the warrant?
No, the warrant is still active. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. And like I said, as far as that, like I said, I can't do anything about that until they do something else about that. As far as that, I've already talked to the judge and them about that. They said once they took it out, because she wasn't even at the arraignment, they took the warrant out even despite her not her being there.
Okay, Ms. Thomas Way, tell me where you are with regard to that issue.
Your Honor, I don't know anything about a warrant, but when I had the attorney, she said there was a warrant out, but the name that was on there was not my name. The name was spelled wrong, and I went down to the Cobb County. They said it's not a warrant in the system, and it's no warrant in the system. There's no warrant issue. They don't know anything about a warrant.
Okay, but you had an arraignment hearing?
No, I don't know nothing about that because I didn't get no information on that.
Okay, so right now the issue with Mr. Way, you all went and asking for there to be a warrant taken out because of the injuries to your daughters after the altercation at Miss Thomas Way's house related to that phone or iPad, right?
Yeah, I guess her issue was something that was said to her, and they got into it like that. Like
Yeah,
I said,
I don't need to go back to that incident. I remember that incident.
That's
but
the
that
issue with
that was the impetus for you going to this hearing in March.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And your position was you understand that despite the fact that Kaylee said it didn't happen, they still took out the warrant.
Yes, because I had to take her to the hospital. She was diagnosed with a face contusion and a concussion. They said head injury. So something like I said, Kaylee sitting and said that was going on. I observed the bruises. Even the doctor, everyone came to the conclusion that what happened. I'm not arguing with nobody. I'm not going back and forth. I'm like, hey, my daughter called me and I did what I was supposed to do.
Okay.
Judge Barry, if I may interrupt about the warrant,
yes.
I couldn't find the case online. I don't know if it's dealing with the state court, but I did send some emails back in April to your office with the documents he was able to obtain. Ms. Thomas Way is correct. The warrant doesn't have her correct name. I think Tanisha, they put with like a Nesha, but her name was spelled on the warrant, or at least on the warrant application, or I'm sorry, on the hearing notice. So I'm not sure if that was resolved, but her name is spelled incorrectly.
Yeah, but that shouldn't stop not necessarily. I mean, if they have
Right.
the address, the date of birth, height, weight, that kind of stuff, that's gonna be more controlling than if she has a misspell, an H instead of an I, or a U instead of an A or something like that. That really shouldn't prevent the warrant. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, Mr. Way, is it your position that you are moving forward, or you're asking the state to dismiss it?
As far as that, like what's going on with Kaylee, since Kaylee wants to be there, because if they arrest her, she's not going to be able to have any access to Kaylee, because that's going to be the condition of the bond of the warrant. If she gets arrested, she's not going to have any access to Kaylee.
Well, maybe it depends.
No, that's the condition of it. If she get arrested,
right?
Yeah, she won't be able to have any.
But what I'm saying is that depends, because it's in DeKalb.
Yeah.
I'm a Superior Court judge, so if another judge that is under me takes the case, then I could resolve it. I could move past that bond condition by just talking with the judge, because they want to give family law judges the more because we know the case better, and so they would give way to what this court indicated would be best. Even despite that warrant. But the concern that I have now, and I'm not, it'll be up to you as to, I guess, how you want to move forward. But to me, your two incidents sound too much alike for you all to try to find yourself in that battle. Because Ms. Thomas Way basically tells a story very similar to what you just said, except apparently Ms. Way and Ms. Kaylee got into an actual fight and altercation. And thank God you did not, Mr. Way, and was able to, I guess, restrain her or prevent her from hurting you any further. But Ms. Thomas Way's position was that she started fighting her over an iPad that she says her dad gave her. And you're telling me she started fighting you over some headphones that she said her mom gave her, and she wasn't going to allow either of you to take them from her. It sounds very similar.
It is. And like I said, I know Kayla, has been like that, go back and forth. Like I explained, I'm not against her mama discipline. I just don't want her, you calling me like with her. I get emails about I'm being punched in the face. I'm getting my head thrown into a wall. And that's what I'm supposed to do. I talk to Kay like, what did you do to get to this point? And when I'm seeing the injury, like I have, it's my job trained me like just to see what's wrong. You know,
Right.
she's
And I understand that. And I'm not faulting you for that at all. Please don't think I am. I'm just telling you that now you have something to balance with to make some decisions as to how you want to proceed. But I'm just trying to figure out what I could do to try to get the family on the same page. Miss Holloway, I know you got to go in at 9. I don't want to prevent you. Is there another time you can come back that maybe we can try to finish what we can do?
And I don't know if this case is specially set or not. I anticipate it to be at least 3 or 4 hours. So if you want me to try to back afternoon, I can back, or I can contact the court if we get out earlier.
Okay, why don't you contact me at noon and let me know? And if so, let's try to meet back at 2. Can you do that, Miss Thomas Way?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about Mr. Way? Can
Yes.
you come back at 2?
Yes, I can come back at 2.
All right. And we'll I just probably need about 20 more minutes of your time, and let's try to figure out what we can do, because right now Kaylee is with your mother. Is that right, Mr.
Well,
Way?
she's with, right now, because when she kind of, like I said, with the defects thing, she went into the school, said I hit her. And once they figured everything out, like I said,
she's saying you hit her.
Yeah, she went up to the school and she's just, and
okay.
Like I said,
right. Yeah, let's come back.
I work at.
Right. Let's come back at 2. All right. I'm sorry, Miss Holloway. I'll let you get in. Y'all take care. I'll see you back.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Miss Marsha, give me a call.